in a small town down in Arkansas, where the river flows, there's a man with a passion that everybody knows.
Howdy, howdy everybody. Welcome to HT's EDC. Coming at you once again from the front porch. Beautiful day out here. I just decided to change it up a little. We're not on the front porch because the back porch is, still wet or what have you. It's just a gorgeous day out here and wanted a different view. And I'm sure y'all get tired of seeing the old wood pile behind me. But something I don't think anybody can get tired of seeing is my sweetheart here. If I can get it to focus, Miss Abby. She is out here with me on her squirrel protection duties this morning, and we are ready to go. How's everybody doing? Got some quick business that I want to clean up. Yesterday, first of all, thank you folks yesterday that watched Dwayne and I's video, Dwayne's video really. I was just along for the ride on his Schrade-Walden fixed blade restoration. For the life of us, and I apologize, Mr. Danny and Miss Elizabeth Kirkland, those are the great folks down at Hickory House Antiques. For the life of us, we could not find their card, and we couldn't think of their names. Welcome to the 50s. Todd over at Pocket EDC got me on this the other day. So welcome to the 50s, HT. So there you go. But Danny and Elizabeth Kirkland, that is the great folks, the great couple down at Hickory House Antiques, Plain Dealing, Louisiana, that Dwayne found that fixed blade from. And great folks, great place. Love you guys. And I see they joked with me before, like, do you watch any of my videos? I told them, I was on YouTube and gave them a sticker and all, and they were like, oh no, we don't watch it. We just let it play. Anyway, they reached out to me this morning. Shout out to you guys. We will see y'all in the future, my friends. Anyway, wanted to clear that up. What else is going on? Now today, we are going to do another restoration video. So back-to-back restores. And today, mine, you're going to see, I'm going to use the thumbnail of this person's business card where I found my knife at. And his name is Mike Stevens, and he is the son of one of my dear friends here in town that we see, basically my Arkansas family. Anyway, it is my dear buddy Tony. His son Michael is running this antique store. I would call it an antique store. They got they got everything. Vinyl records, old antique clothes, watches, whatever. Well, obviously they had an old antique pocket knife because he gave me a call and told me about this. Actually sent me a picture on it and said, HT, I just came across a knife. I know you're the knife guy. Can you tell me anything about this knife? Is it any good? Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we got to talking. I told him what he had there, how old it was. And I asked him, I said, is that yours? Is that something up there at the store? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so it's for sale, right? Well, yeah. I'll see you in a minute. Anyway, I got up there, took a look at it, and you guys, to get the full beauty of this one, you got to go back to my part 1 video, which was a few videos, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 videos back of my part 1 video. And this is going to be on a Schrade-Walden, and this is the 125 OT, and it's a single blade folding hunter. So, shout out to Mike Stevens for putting me on this awesome deal. It is a local store right here in good old El Dorado, Arkansas. You local folks, get down there and support him. His information will be in my thumbnail. Great guy, and he's got some killer stuff in his store, so shout out to you, Michael. But anyway, you'll probably want to see a knife. We're going to start out with the ugly. So this, some of these restores, you know, you have the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm going to start out with the, I wouldn't call it ugly, but we're going to start out with the bad on this one. So this knife came with the original sheath, which is this. In the process, I borrowed, Dwayne let me borrow some saddle soap because this thing was just kind of dirty. You know, this is the OG sheath for the knife I'm going to show you. And again, it's at least 51 years old. The knife is a 1946 through a 1973. So shoot the moon, say it's a 73, it's at least 51 years old and could be a lot older. Well, I was stoked to get the OG, the original sheath for it. Well, anyway, Dwayne let me borrow some saddle soap. I was scrubbing with my saddle soap, lathering it up, and I was doing this top flap right here. I had it all snapped, you know, where I could, you know, kind of bear down on it. Well, when I went to unsnap it, well, there's the piece of snap, if you guys could see, right here. And yeah, we lost our snap. So obviously this was a little dry rotted over the years. That is the ugly sometimes of these cleanups. Luckily, you guys know I'm Mr. Folding Hunter, so I have several of the same sheaths in good working condition for this knife. So this is just an example of one that I have, and it is nice and soft and supple, pretty shiny still. But yeah, the OG sheath kind of bit the dust. That's the bad part. On to what I say I'm pretty proud of. Get it a last little wipe off here. Always put its best foot forward for you guys. And again, you gotta, to appreciate this, you have had to have watched my part 1 video on this knife. When I first picked this up from old Mike, it was pretty peaked, to say the least. Bolsters were in bad shape, had some red rust. I was worried about those bolsters. Would I get everything off of there? It's not perfect. Again, this thing is a 1951. It's hard to beat, or 1951. It's at least 51 years old, probably older. So it's not going to look like it's 5 years old. You know, it's not going to look showroom beautiful. But I think we are looking pretty good. Check out those bolsters. Again, we'll kind of give it a little last wipe off here, but they are definitely a lot better. Of course, HT has added him a stag lanyard on here, little leather and stag bead. That is some of the some deer stag antler of mine. And get a look at that. Get a look at that logo there, the shield. We can tell now that it is an old timer. This delrin, we have got some life. I am still currently adding daily a little more oil to this delrin to try to get as much life and color back in this delrin as I can, but I think we're looking pretty good. And let's look at that blade. Again, you can see there is some, you know, some staining, some pitting spots on this blade. It is not mirror polished by any stretch of the imagination. But from where this was, you couldn't even see. Here's that tang stamp. Schrade-Walden, New York, what always say, New York, USA, 125 OT. But yeah, and all the brass, we have the little, this is a liner lock. If you can see here, it says press. Take a look at all that brass now. That blade channel down inside was very bad. brass on the back. I'm getting a lot of natural light now, more than I want actually, coming in over here from my left shoulder, so I apologize for that. But lock up and all. And of course, when I got this, it had 0 detent, which you guys don't know, that is where right here, and it's supposed to be on a knife at about 30% closed. That detent is what catches it and sucks it in. Well, this thing I was just pushing closed. It had no detent, but as you can see, we're at about, give it just a slow push and boom. Detent, we have detent again. We'll let you listen to this lockup now. Nice snap. And it is even. You can see there, it is even good and centered. So anyway, folks, that is what she looks like now. Again, to give full appreciation, go back and watch that part 1 video. I think, well, I have a pocket knife that's going to go on my dresser. I love this knife. What is funny about this, and some of the guys in the comments over on Instagram, the night I got this call about this knife, the 125 OT, I was actually chatting the guys up on Instagram, and we were talking folding hunters. Everybody knows, I'm kind of the resident folding hunter lover in our community, or one of them for sure. And a couple of us guys were talking over there, and they're like, what's next for you, HT? And I'm like, I would really like to get a 125 OT, the single blade old timer. And basically I put my little disclaimer out there to a couple of them, like, anybody has a 125 OT over there and they want to do a little horse trading, HT's your huckleberry. I literally said that on Instagram, was looking for one of these knives. 2 hours later, and you can't make this up, 2 hours later, Mike texted me and says, hey, I got a knife over here, and she sent me a picture of it. I don't know what it is, how old it is, I don't know nothing, Mr. HT. It was a 125 OT. You can't make this up. The boy could have had anything, any kind of knife, modern. He didn't know what he had, and he was like sending me a picture. Is this any good? And of course, it did not look anything like this. It looked pretty rough in the pictures he sent me, but I'm like, that's a freaking 125 OT. I'm looking for a 125 OT. Anyway, that's the backstory. That is a true story. If I'm lying, I'm dying to you. I was chatting the guys up, and they can probably, in the comments, those guys will remember that conversation over on Instagram where I was talking about looking for a 125 OT. Voila. True story. Anyway, we're at, what are we at? 13.5 minutes. Thank you guys for anybody that put up with me this morning and my babbles and my stories. But folks, this is a new addition to my folding hunter barrage, my folding hunter stable. It is going, and if you guys know me, the ones that make my dresser top in my bedroom, that is kind of my hallowed. Those are the ones that I'm running currently and are in favor with the old ball guy. Those are the ones that I go to every morning like, what am I going to grab today? This makes the tabletop. This makes the dresser top. So if that tells you anything about how much favor and how excited I am to have this knife. And folks, there's something different. Yes, you can go get one new old stock. I love them. I do it all the time. Don't get me wrong about what I'm fixing to say. If I could have found one of these new old stock, pristine in a box, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I would go for it. I have went for it. Nothing wrong with it. but there's something different. It's one of those we say, if you know, you know. When you get one that's, you know, kind of on its last leg, and you see a vision like Dwayne did with that fixed blade. I didn't even see his vision. I'm telling you, that one that you guys, please go back and watch his part 1 video. Well, actually, it's my part 1 video. I show it initially for Dwayne. Anyway, getting off on a tangent. I didn't see his vision in that one. I was like, Dwayne, oh no, bro, that's, you think you can bring that back? My point is this: when you do, when you get that vision, you see one that's in a lot of, you know, like the knife doctor. I'm not trying to be the knife doctor. You are the guy, buddy. And he sees that vision. When you see these knives that are just floundering and they have been neglected, overlooked, thrown in some toolbox for 20 years, rusting, and you see them and you get that mental picture of what they could be, they're just different. Like I said, nothing wrong with, I'd love to go buy this knife, new old stock, but there is just a pride in ownership now from knowing where this knife was to where it is. And you guys might not think this is that great. You may still not, you know, I don't know, this may be too rough for some of you, but it is just right for me. It is going to the dresser top, and it's giving me the fizz and that loving feeling, all those, you know, silly analogies, but this will be in the pocket now going forward. Once again, this is a knife again. Again, I didn't bring out a piece of paper. I promise you, you've seen some of my videos. It is sharp. It is ready to go in a pocket right now. It's a knife again, and I love it. No, that was long-winded. I just wanted to tell you my philosophy in these things, why I do my restores. You just got to kind of have a heart for it and an eye for it, and a love for the old pocket knives. And I'm ate up with it, admitted, guilty as charged. Love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Me and Abs, we're going to get out of here. God bless.
Look, knives gleaming under that old porch light. He'll tell their stories deep into the night. Reviews and torture tests, it's a sight to see. HT